Yo Enemy gang, more specifically the Raven gang. So today we are reacting to IMMORTALXSOUL'S Tekken 8 Raven Season 2 wishlist video. Now if you main Raven, then I know for sure you know who IMMORTALXSOUL is. This guy is a Raven main from the EU, a content creator as well. Like everything I learned about Raven, I learned from this dude. You know, I picked up Raven in Tekken 8. I did play him back in Tag 2, but I really picked him up in Tekken 8, got to God of Destruction, mostly thanks to IMMORTALXSOUL. So make sure you subscribe to him, and if you want to check out the video on your own, I've left the link in the description. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, of course, I will be pausing to, of course, react to some of the things he says. So if you're not up to the pausing, please just click off the video. But other than that, if you're Raven main, let's get it, bro. It's also 30 minutes long, so let's get it. Season 2 Raven wishlist.
Today we have a special video.
Yo, Tekken 6, let's go.
I'll be doing my Tekken 8 Season 2 wishlist for Raven.
Yeah.
So we are actually going to be jumping back in time a little bit. So we're gonna revisit T6 and T7, and then
let's go
with T8 to kind of round off my Season 2 wishlist. I feel like there's a lot of things that they did forget about the character. Such iconic attacks.
That's true.
Forgotten about this character.
That's
so we're
true.
Run through some stuff from T6 and T7. Do me a favor, like and subscribe,
bro. Tekken 6, you guys know, is my favorite Tekken game of all time. Like Tekken 6 is the GOAT. Massive content in this game. Just the gameplay for me was bellissimo. It was peak. But he is right. I think they forgot a lot of iconic Raven moves, which honestly would make the character really good in Tekken 8. Like even just like the drip or the aura of the certain moves are like so good, and it's so sad that they forgot about most of those moves. But let's see what moves he's talking about specifically.
Commenting will also help with the algorithm.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, guys.
This game is so sick.
He knows. Tekken 6 is godlike.
Just even the costume is crazy.
Oh my days. Like, bro, I learned the snake dash from this dude, but even I don't do it as clean as he does. Now I use PS5 controller. It's harder on controller, but like even if, bro, I have failed to do that crouch dash as consistently and as clean as he does, bro. Like his movement is insane with this character.
Of strange attacks in this game. So he had back 2 for 3+4.
It was so sick.
A low high.
The double low at the end.
Just before
the double clone.
Block, you will get hit by this move. You have to duck. But then obviously Raven's really punchable.
Yeah. Look at the movement, attack. Bro. He's so good.
He also has his attack from Haze as well.
Yeah.
Quite slow. So the low's not that good. But he did have some quite cool attacks, I think. And of course he did have a clone. So that's why you're seeing kind of like Haze versions of Raven.
Yeah, so of course the clones were reworked in Tekken 8. He now has actual shadow clones from Naruto. But I kind of liked the flicker clones he had back in Tekken 6. Of course, came in Tekken 5, right? Like the flicker effect was really, really good. He also had up back 1 that had the same effect. He would like hit you and then like remove a clone, go behind you, teleport back to the clone. It was so sick.
Because that's the clone of Raven, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of did keep that element of Raven's gameplay with tweaks. I mean, to be honest, I prefer Tekken 8's versions of the clone.
Yeah, me
I guess
too.
They are a little bit unsafe at -14 and obviously -3 in heat, which I think is fine. I don't think the clones need to be more safe. I mean,
honestly, he does have a point. I wanted to make the clones, like I would make the clones 0 to +1, but the thing about the clones is they do massive chip damage. Like if you just ignore the frame data, right, and the move on its own does massive chip damage. So unless they tweak the chip damage, I wouldn't mind having the clones at least 0 on block just to make Raven's clone pressure better. But I do understand him saying that the clones are okay. Like I get where he's coming from, and honestly, considering the chip damage that it does, it makes sense.
Afford 1 for high risk, high reward move. I think the clones and the kind of risk reward behind throwing the clones out are fine. I think they're fine as they are. However, I would like to see some of Raven's iconic moves like down 4 3+4 return, because right now he doesn't have a power mid from crouch dash or wave dash. And what I mean by that is T7 is way worse than T7. Now we are going to revisit this move in Tekken 7 to see why this move was so good and the properties of this move. So we are going to revisit QCF1 in older games. I mean, in this
spoiler alert, counter 8 launcher.
I feel like at least he has other mids that give him some decent reward, you know? Whilst
I've always said this, like Raven without hit has a horrible full crouch game, right? Like unlike Shaheen has full crouch down forward 2 as a mix up to his slide. Law has up forward 3 as a mix up to his slide. But Raven has jack shit. Everything he has is unsafe unless you're in hit. You can get the safe while standing 3-2 clone. So yeah, he does need a power mid from full crouch. Like I said, make while standing 3 safe. So is it while standing 3+4, the homing move?
3 doesn't do the same thing in Tekken 8 because of while standing 3-2, right? It's a launcher. But in this game, it wall splat, it knocked down for Oki.
Oh really? Okay.
So he did at least have some power mids.
Bro, I missed Tekken 6. Oh my god. Namco, bring Tekken 6 to PS5. I miss this game, man.
I feel like that's a little bit lacking in Tekken 8, especially by Tekken 8 standards as well. So I feel like maybe reintroduce down forward 3+4 as a power mid. Now, it doesn't have to do anything crazy. It doesn't have to counter hit launch. It doesn't have to knock down. However, I feel like this move does a lot of damage by itself. So we're going to look at the damage.
Okay.
You see, it does a chunk of damage. So this is quite a decent power mid. You see, 25 damage. So that's quite a decent chunk of damage.
I don't know. The range looks kind of cheeks though. And the hitbox seems very off.
And he doesn't have any safer mid options that do this sort of damage. He has to commit to while standing 3.
Yeah, 3-2.
He has to commit to the launch. And then he has like QCF 1+2, but
too slow. Too slow.
It's like,
yeah.
You can just react. So I think down forward 3+4 would be a really good addition to his moveset in Tekken 8 in Season 2. The other move I think they can introduce is forward 1+2. Now, of
yes!
Course,
this move is what I was talking about. Forward 1+2. He also has an up back 1 version. Bro, like these moves are so sick. There's so much creativity. Now, I don't know how this would work with the new rework with his clones, of course, but like seeing this back would be so sick, bro. Like so much aura.
He has a move attached to it, which is his power crush, right? So I propose down back 1+2. He doesn't have ultimate tackle anymore. I think this game's forward 1+2 could be reintroduced as down back 1+2 in Tekken 8. Now, why I think this move can be really good is because I think this move, along with buffed invincibility frames, because as we all know, his phase through moves like this, they're not as effective.
You can hit him out of it, yeah.
Tekken 7 and older games, right? These actually have real invincibility frames, whereas the ones in Tekken 7, they don't really. But like these have real invincibility frames, whereas the invincibility frames are weird, very, very weird. Like you can clip Raven from the back, you know, at an angle. It's really, really strange. So I feel like they did nerf the invincibility frames of the phase through attacks. So I feel like, along with a buff to his phase through, introduce this move because he can be tricky and stay in the front. I think it would just be a cool attack to kind of introduce.
It's so sick, bro.
You can actually end up in the back, right? By holding nothing, or you can hold back and stay
the
front,
same.
right?
It's so
but
sick.
The reason why I want this move to come back is he has issues with plus frames, and yes, he has back 1 and he has back 3. But first of all, back 1, he's forced into soul zone, so the plus frames are not really that great because his options out of stance are not that quick, right? His fastest option out of stance is soul zone 1. And it's just a poke high. I feel like for how slow back 3 is, it should be more plus. Or what they can do is add a charge mechanic to this move. So if I hold 1+2, it charges and maybe be like +8 or something.
Interesting.
Maybe damage.
Okay.
Maybe have a kind of guard break mechanic in heat. I think that would be cool because I feel like they're just getting rid of moves that actually are cool. Down forward 3+4, forward 1+2. Like these moves are actually really cool. And they're just getting rid of them. I don't understand why.
That's facts.
Like
so.
This move is actually super iconic. Therefore,
okay, but to be honest, you can say that about a lot of characters. There are a lot of characters that have their cool moves that have been removed from their arsenal. You know, like Leroy's Power Crash from Tekken 7. That's gone. I believe he had a move from, is it forward 4? I'm tripping, but yeah.
For neutral, of course.
You can say that about a lot of characters.
Or he can do it from crouch dash. Right?
Steve sidestep 1+2. That plus move was so sick in Tekken 6. They took that away from us again. You know, I don't know why.
And then
his crouch dash.
So this gives him more of a threatening option, I think, mid-wise. Because this move now would be Aqua Spider. Obviously, he still does have full crouch 3.
Yeah.
But this version, what I'm doing is Aqua Spider's input. So this would be Aqua Spider, and then to mix it up, he would have down forward 3+4, which I think would be super sick to have. Now, another move we're going to talk about throughout the iterations is up back 1-2. Now, I think this move can be changed to I13 to give him a better I13
Punisher.
Because right now he only has whilst done in 2, whilst done in 4, and that's it until 40, which I think is very poor considering most characters in Tekken 8 have very good.
Okay, giving Raven an I13 while standing Punisher. Honestly, so many characters have this now. Like, I feel as though Raven has been left out. They did give him that forward for 15 frame launcher. Guys, I apologize for my dog as usual. Whenever I'm recording, my dog goes crazy. So I apologize for my dog again. So yeah, I don't know. Like, everyone has an I13 Punisher now. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea giving Raven that as well.
Raven has great standing punishment, down forward 1-4, forward 4 is now launched. So he has really good standing punishment, 2-4 is quite good as well. You know, 4-1. He doesn't have forward in this game, but yeah, 4-1. I think he has good punishment. I just think
his punishment is decent, honestly.
So I feel like maybe give him a new I13 while standing punishment, or if you don't want to do that, give him an I13 with this move. I'm not sure how quick this move is. I think it's I16. But I'm not too sure. We are going to check it out in games that actually have frame data in it. Otherwise, I have to look it up on a website. But
yeah, the good old days.
Like back 1-2 in Tekken 8 does 24 damage and is -2 on hit. So I feel like you can just keep the minus frames on hit, right? -2 is fine. The trade-off for that is to make it I13, just to give him some more damage, because I feel like there's a lot of matchups where characters can abuse their -13 lows. You know,
yeah,
Brian's
bro, it's so annoying.
Down to we can only get while standing 4.
It's so annoying.
It's super sick. A crouch cancel 2-4, which I do on Hatchet sometimes if I'm on point. So those are the only moves I would really kind of take away from Tekken 6. He has, as I said, weird attacks, but generally I feel like his more gimmicky attacks are not really that great. I feel like forward 1+2 has a lot of potential to return. Just buff his invincibility frames with phase for attacks. I think it's bugged at the moment. They don't really act as invincibility frames anymore. Barely any. So yeah, I would like to see a buff on these moves. You know, all the moves that he can phase through. Forward 1+2 return with some trickery with clones. I think that could be cool. And then also down forward 3+4 as a return for power mid. Those are my changes that I would take away from Tekken 6 and implement into Tekken 8. Okay, so now we're in
Okay, so all things considered, those are not changes I would argue with that much. The down forward 3+4 mid looks kind of meh, to be honest with you. I remember that mid, but I don't remember anyone using it all that much. Maybe I just didn't watch a lot of Raven back in the day, so maybe giving it like a better hitbox or better range, it looks off in my opinion. Also in Punisher, I can't really argue with that, honestly. Like I said, he feels left out. Everyone seems to have that now. Forward 1+2 is like a whatever move, but I do understand why he'd want it. You know, but it does feel like a lot, but like it's a cool move, so I get what he means. You know, it will be sick having that in the game. All right, so let's see what you'd want back from Tekken 7. Of course, he did mention QCF 1-2.
7. Now, I really miss Master Raven. Now, it's not.
I don't. Shout out Blade.
Tekken 8 Raven, but they're just not the same character. So a lot of people, when they see me say, you know, I miss Master Raven, they're like, you're not happy. You guys are never happy, and I'm just like, just because I miss Master Raven doesn't mean I don't enjoy current Tekken 8 Raven. I still think Tekken 8 Raven is super cool. I just think
like, just give us a skin for Master Raven. Like, what's so hard about that, Namco? Just give them a skin. As easy as that.
Raven's tools were such fun to play with. Like, we're gonna run through some Tekken 7 stuff. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna touch upon is QCF 1, right? Like, this was one of her best attacks.
Dude, they nerfed this so hard.
Like, this move was just excellent.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was so good is because you could hit confirm it for so long. Like, the hit confirm window was so big. So it gave her a very strong power mid that was basically safe, because any competent Raven could train themselves to hit confirm and react to the hit and then press 2, right? So this move was super good. So this move was a 34 damage hit confirmable mid string, which also counter hit launched.
The second hit. Yeah.
And the second hit also counter hit launched.
Yeah, I remember that. So it was so strong. But it was so strong. She could delay it.
See? And she could also do haze. But the thing is, she could crouch dash out of haze.
Yeah.
So imagine if Raven could crouch dash out of soul zone and then cancel. You could do so much trickery with this character, like around surrounding this move. See?
Yeah, QCF1 was hit so hard, bro. It was so good.
This character's small Tekken was so.
Like, you can do QCF1 and go into Soul Zone or Haze in Master Raven's case and still get the combo off with a forward 4, bro. Like, it was so good.
So good. So that's why I really enjoyed playing this character. Around QCF1 and her neutral tools were really, really good. So I would like to see QCF1 get some love. I've been saying this for so long, but I feel like Raven has a lack of, in Tekken 8, a lack of power mid that's safe or hit confirmable or has low risk, because all of his mids that do damage now are, you know, while standing 1, while standing 3-2, right? He doesn't have any power mids that do damage that are not super unsafe,
risky,
right?
yeah, that's
true.
true.
Yes, QCF1-2 is a power mid, but again, it's slow when you can react to it, so it's like, there's no mix with Hell Sweep or even Aqua Spider at this point, right? There's no mix. It's like, okay, while standing 4, okay, cool. While standing 2, okay, cool. But like, when we compare 17 damage to 34, that's double the damage I'm getting from a hit confirmable, you know, QCF1-2. So if you don't hit confirm the string and just let it rip, this is -13. So I'm going to show you the frames.
-13?
-13. I don't think they should change that frame advantage at all. I think -13 is perfectly fine for the move. I just think if you're going to make it -14, like, give us a hit confirm window, so that there's actually some risk behind you failing the hit confirm, right? The second thing to say about QCF1 in Tekken 8 is that you can't convert from the counter hit unless you go into Haze, Soul Zone in Tekken 8, right?
Yeah.
So it's weaker by design. I think it's fine. I just think, just give it a hit confirm window. Obviously, one of my changes for Tekken 8 Raven is to give Soul Zone some mobility options like this. So Soul Zone forward equals crouch dash.
That's true, bro. Like, it's so annoying getting locked in Soul Zone and having only teleport options, right? You can teleport up, back, or down, right? You need to crouch cancel out of Soul Zone. This has been a complaint for a lot of Raven mains, bro. Like, this is deserved. We deserve this change.
The same level of mobility from stances that Master Raven had.
Bro, his crouch dash, holy shit.
Like, Raven has the
so
white hole stuff, right? But he doesn't have the crouch dash stuff, right? And I think this will be sick to have. You see? Another move I think needs and deserves some love is back turn down 4. Now,
more in
Tekken 8 and
this one I've talked about so many times. Of course, they nerfed generic down 4s. They are all launch punishable now. And this severely hit Raven a lot because back turn down 4 was amazing for his back turn pressure. It was amazing. And at higher level, this just gets launched every single fucking time. Like, this was a hard nerf to Raven.
Characters' new lows that act as this type of low, but it's not generic anymore, right? They didn't give Raven that. They kept Raven's generic down 4, and now it's launch on block, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. So the reason why this move was so good was because it was -11 and very, very hard to punish because the startup was actually I-10, which is the same as a jab, right? So this was such a good move. Now, I'm not saying to make it I-10 in Tekken 8. It's I-12, which is the same as this
generic down 4,
right?
yeah.
So it has the same startup as this. So this is 2 frames quicker from back turn than it is in full crouch or generic, right? But Raven doesn't have a generic down 4. She has one from full crouch and back turn, which back turn is quicker, right? So back turn, you can keep it I-12, so startup frames 12. But I think it shouldn't be -15 on block. I think -12 or 13 is fair.
I agree, bro. -15 is crazy.
So in Tekken 8 it is 6, which is half. I think it's fair to buff it by like 3 damage, maybe 9 or 10 damage is fair, maybe 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
That kind of range.
Okay, I can get with that.
I think buff it a little bit, don't buff it crazy. And it's +3 on hit, which is insane. Into full crouch, right?
You'll
so this
die.
was a thing. While standing 2 was a thing. So this is what happens when I press a jab, right? So I'm mashing jab and I'm getting launched, trade launched, right?
It was so good. Yeah.
But obviously killed the move in Tekken 8, which is really sad. So I think back turn down 4 really does deserve some love, because either that or give him a quick low that high crushes, like Lily's, for example. She got a new low that high crushes that's not launch on.
I literally say this in my new moves videos, bro. I literally say this. Giving Raven a back turn low would be more new mentor for that character. Like, why is everything so risky on Raven? I get he's a mix-up character, but it's not like his reward is absurdly good, bro. Like, he's so fucking risky for so little reward. Give him a safe back turn low. Or at least -12, -13, bro. Not everything should have to be launch. Come on, Bandai. Jesus.
Counter hit knocks down. I'm not asking for counter hit knockdown low. I just want back turn down 4 back, but not as good as this one. I'm not saying make it as good as this version. I'm just saying maybe make it in between Tekken 8 and Tekken 7 in terms of how strong it is, because this is like super strong, right?
Yeah, true.
Maybe make it 0 on hit plus 1 on hit. Make it 8 to 9 damage and -13 or -12 on block, because the startup is already slower as well. So doing stuff like this, which was one of our common flow charts, is weaker if the low is slower, right? So again, this move definitely deserves some love. Okay, the final thing I'm going to touch upon from Tekken 7.
The final
so we've touched upon having haze or Soul's mobility options with crouch dash and cancelling the crouch dash and all that stuff. We've talked about QTF1 and the kind of hit confirm window. We've talked about back turn down 4. Now, the other one I would like to see come back is the return of her throw game from back turn. So I'm not saying...
Return of back turn throw. I did talk about this as well in my Raven wish list or new moves video. The back turn throw, like, why was that taken away from Raven? Why does Feng get to keep his back turn throw? Like, Feng doesn't even need a back turn throw mix-up. It suits Raven more being a mix-up character, especially from back turn. And considering Raven's back turn, he doesn't really have like any strong lows, and his biggest mix-up game is a slow launch punishable low, give him back his throw game, right? As simple as that. So let's hear what Immortal Soul has to say about this.
As strong as it is in neutral, because it does 45 damage, right? I'm not saying make it the same as in neutral. Like, what they could do to balance it is, I think, maybe nerf the damage, right?
I agree.
In Tekken 8, it does 40 damage just normally. So the input for Undertaker throw in Tekken 8 is up forward 1+2. Now, it's a different input in this game, a harder input. Half circle back forward 1+2. You see? So I think what they could do is
35 damage?
Back turn Undertaker 35 damage.
Okay.
Because it's a mix-up, right? I don't think it should do the same damage as regular Undertaker from neutral. I just think they need to implement Raven's back turn throw game, because Raven always had a back turn throw game. So in Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 6, Tekken 5, whatever, generic throws like this, 1+3 and 2+4, they acted as command throws in a way, because you could only break this throw with 2 button, and you could only break the 1+3 with 1.
Yeah,
right?
the
so
OG Tekken.
As command throws in their own way, they just did less damage. As you can see, he did 35 damage. So I propose keep Raven's generic throws. Either make them mix-ups with the generics, make them mix-ups like they were in Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 6, Tekken 5. Retain that mix-up, but obviously they do generic damage. Or what you can do is add back to 1+4 back, but have generic damage. Don't make the throw do 45 damage or 40 damage. Just make it do 35 like a regular generic grab, right? I don't think I'm asking for too much here. I don't think I'm making Raven overtuned. I think if I'm asking for it to do 45 damage, it would be overtuned, right? I'm trying to balance the move. I'm trying to balance his iconic moveset. Raven always had a back turn throw mix. And to top it off, Feng, back turn throw mix. Fine,
exactly,
throw mix.
bro.
Xiaoyu, jumping back turn throw mix. Why are they back turn throw mixes?
Cook!
And then removing the back turn characters back turn throw mix? I just don't understand.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. So I would like to see his throw game come back. If they don't make generic throw system changes, I would like to see back turn Undertaker throw back as a 1+2 break from back turn, right? Because in order to break this from back turn, you press 1+2. So this would be 6 to come back as well. So those are kind of the changes that I would like to see from Tekken 7. As I said, she did have a lot more tools. Like, she had a Magic 4, and this actually launched on some characters. She had a launching 4-1. Raven does not have that anymore. Of course, it jails, so I'm not saying make it counter hit launch. I'm just saying You know, Raven did lose
a lot
some of
from Tekken
their
7. That's
counter
true.
tools, so I'm not asking for, you know, magic fallback or anything like that. I'm just saying Master Raven was a much stronger character overall, neutral wise, back turn wise, throw game wise, like, you know. So I'm not asking to make Raven broken, right? I just want to see the iconic stuff come back. I want to see what made Raven come back, because they stripped the character of that, and I feel like they're removing his uniqueness and identity out of the character, which is kind of sad to see.
Dude, that is so
Raven's still fun to
true.
play, right? But I just think his identity is kind of being lost a little bit. Now, one thing I do prefer with Tekken 8 Raven is his combo game. His combo game is sick, so I do like his combo game. And generally his movement feels a little bit more fluid. Even though Master Raven's backdash technically is better than Raven's in Tekken 8, that's just because backdash across the board is better. I personally think Raven's backdash in Tekken 8 is better than Master Raven's relative to the game. So like relative to the cast, Raven's backdash in Tekken 8 is actually higher tier than Master Raven's backdash relative to Tekken 7's cast, if that makes sense. So again,
bro, he's cooking,
like
he's spitting.
His identity's been lost a little bit. Right, so now on Tekken 8, I'm gonna
Alright, so okay, this is a cool ass mode, by the way. Like, look at how clean this looks. So Tekken 7 changes, I 100% agree on every single thing he said. Those tools were so strong, and just bringing all those back will make Raven like way better. More so, I do agree more so his Tekken 7 changes than some of the Tekken 6 ones, but like, yeah, let's see what he has to say about Tekken 8.
Together and why I think these changes from different games would really suit Tekken 8 Raven. So let's jump into it. Firstly, I'm gonna cover what I think should change about Tekken 8 Raven. Obviously, this is where I'm gonna have the most changes because this is the current iteration of the game, right? So first of all, I think stop forcing him into Soul Zone. I don't want to be forced into Soul Zone after back one or after Hell Sweep. Like, I think this is crazy.
Okay, that's a check on my bingo card. That's something I've talked about as well. Why are we forced into Soul Zone? Right, Steve was forced into Lionheart. They changed that from the character, made the character slightly better. So give us that option with Raven as well, bro.
Let me choose whether I want to go into Soul Zone after this, right? And same with back one. Now, the second change is allow Raven to crouch dash cancel after 2-4, after anything that he's not allowed to crouch dash cancel. Like, you can cancel crouch dash
interesting
normally, right? Why can't he do that after Soul Zone 1 forward? I'm holding forward after.
That's something I've overlooked, honestly. He does have a point. That's something I've overlooked. We need to have the option to cancel out of crouch dash after certain moves, if you can do it normally. That makes sense. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I'm stupid.
But I'm pressing up and nothing's happening. Say with 2-4, like,
yeah,
I'm pressing up. So we're gonna put the command history on so you can actually see what I'm saying. So Soul Zone 1 forward, crouch dash. But what about if I press up, nothing happens?
Yeah.
So I think, why can't I?
Yeah. That makes sense, bro.
Why can't I cancel the crouch dash? I think this is the bug. Either Namco, if you see this, please make this change, because it just makes the character feel stiff. Like, more stiff than he already is. He doesn't have any mobility options out of Soul Zone other than White Hole, which I think is great. I'm not complaining, right? But I just think, give him some extra mobility options that Hayes had.
He's so sick, bro, right?
Give him crouch dash out of this. See, I'm holding forward, nothing's happening. And then also 2-4 can't be cancelled, crouch dash, and neither can Soul Zone 1 forward.
Okay.
Can't be cancelled.
Okay. I get it.
Allow some deeper mind games, deeper mix-ups. No one is using Soul Zone 1, which is a shame, because it's actually a good move to check people with after back one on block as well. So I think, yeah, give him some mobility options out of Soul Zone, crouch dash, and stop forcing me into Soul Zone. Also allow me to cancel crouch dash out of moves that currently can't be cancelled. So that's 2-4 and Soul Zone 1 forward, right? So those are some mobility changes that I would like to see for Raven in Tekken 8. The next change I would like to see is, we did briefly touch upon this in other games.
You got invincibility frames.
Don't actually have that many invincibility frames, so they don't really act as they did before. They're not useful at all. And I'm going to show you why. So
honestly, I didn't really see anyone use this like at high level, like all that much. Like, if anything, I I've seen Ravens get punished for using this move. Maybe it's just me. I haven't watched a lot of Raven back in Tekken 6. He was saying he was more invincible in Tekken 6. Because I remember a lot of Anakin. Actually, Anakin was so good at punishing Master Ravens that did this move a lot. So I don't know. Was it like really that good?
Once we are actually
Hit your boy up.
back four, you're going to see why this is really weird for Raven. Because Raven obviously can't parry with back turn forward 1+2. He can't parry knees and elbows. So this is why back four for Asuka is really, really sick. So I'm gonna show you what happens to the phase through with back four. It's just weird. It just shouldn't happen. Look at this. See the phase through?
Reap.
That's a combo. This is an option select.
Reaper.
This is an option select because okay, you might say, well, what if he doesn't go for phase through? What about if he goes for something else? Okay, watch what happens. This one is escape parry, right? So let's restart. Punished. Punished, right? Punished.
Okay, but to be fair, 3 slide 4 has bad frames in back turn. It's not something you throw out, all the time, because it is a natural launcher on hit, and that would be so strong. So to me, it makes sense that it does have some risk to it, and you just don't get a free back turn. Like to me, that makes sense.
So you can still punish him for doing escape parry. We already established he can't.
The graphics for this game are so sick.
Turn, right?
So PC?
What about if he turns back around? Well, Asuka's back four is safe. So there's no risk in doing that. There's no risk in checking it. You see? It's safe. So why wouldn't you do this move? And then if he mashes any other option, so let's say, for example, if he does Power Crush, right? You're going to see what happens now. Counter hit launch.
Counter hit.
He can't do anything about this move. And a lot of characters actually do have option selects like this, which I don't think is fair. All because there's no mix-up on Raven's 3 till the 4, right? There's no mix-up, which I just think is stupid. So please buff the invincibility frames of phase through. Now we're going to look at Raven's risk reward in Soul Zone, right? So Soul Zone 4 currently is +2 on hit, point blank. Now, yes, you can make this move more thus,
the
but
further you are,
pushback, I can't do anything with those frames. So this is only good for making it safe.
yeah.
Right? So offensively, trying to space this move is not good. Only good in defense. Now, my point with this is +2. I can't do anything with +2. I can't full crouch switch.
I'm gonna guess, like, why is it launch punishable? So I think you say make it like -14 or something.
I can't while standing 2. The only thing I can really do is while standing 4, right?
Can be stepped.
But I can't do while standing 2. And even so, look what happens when they step. So you can actually step the only frame trap here. So again, I don't think +2 is really anything that great if you're going to keep the frames at -16 on block. Now this...
There we go. Something I've touched upon as well. Why is Soul Zone 4 launch punishable for +2 at close range? Like Raven mains, we are synced. We think alike. Right? That's what makes us great. We know what's strong and what's bad about our character. We don't just cry about random shit like Kazuya players, bro.
Which is crazy. So you're going to see what I mean. So personally, I think they should increase the effectiveness of the move by making the move -14 on block.
I agree.
Point blank.
I agree.
Currently is -16. I don't think the risk reward for throwing out the low makes sense, especially when now, when we do Heat Smash, the options we want to go for are Soul Zone 2, which is a -9
Mid.
block mid. I think that's fine. Don't touch this move. But I think Soul Zone 4, if you want to go for the low, is too risky.
It's too risky, bro.
-14, I think,
why?
If you're going to keep it at
Fucking Namco.
+2 on hit, remove the counter hit launch in order for us to kind of benefit from the risk reward a little bit more, because of course it does counter hit launch. So I think to balance the move as a kind of compensation nerf, I would say remove the counter hit launch. But
Honestly, that's a change I'm happy to live with. The safer you are in this game, the better off you are. Cause, dude, like getting launched in Tekken 8 sucks because the damage, bro. You can die so quickly in this game. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, And the counter hit for a safer option being -14. It's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
-14 on block, and maybe increase the plus frames on hit. But I would like a slight tweak on Souls on 4, because I think right now Souls on 4, the risk reward is just very.
It's not worth it.
In favor of the person who's defending against it. I think it's just not really worth it. +2. Fair enough. If the move was quicker, right? This is not even a frame trap. So again, it's like it's hard to justify the move staying this way when it's only +2 on hit and it's -16 on block. I think -14 is fair. And again, just touching upon his back turn throw game, we've already mentioned it, but I would like to see his generic throws from back turn change to how they operated in older Tekken games. Like, for example, his generic 1 throw would be a 1 break only, and his generic 2 throw would be a 2 break only.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Or if you don't want to change the generic throw system, how that works,
give him back his
back turn 1+4.
Yeah.
Because right now it doesn't do anything, it just jabs, right? For back turn 1-4. So I think bring back turn Undertaker, because currently this move does, we're gonna check, 40 damage, by the way. It does 40 damage, but we're gonna put the attack in for one. As you can see, 40 damage for the throw. If you bring this back in back turn, make it do 35 damage like a generic throw.
Okay, he's going back through the changes, alright.
I think that's a fair trade-off to bring back the back turn throw mix, because the animation is the same, right? So you either make the generics an actual 1 and 2 break, or you keep the generics how they are, so it's a 1 or 2 break, and then you add in a 1+2 break into the mix again, because Raven always had a back turn throw mix just because of how the generic throw system worked. And then in Tekken 7 they brought it back to where Master Raven had a 1+2 break in back turn. So they should bring that back, but not as strong. Just make it
does it have anything else to say?
Back turn 35 damage. So in combination, I think those are my changes. Bring a hit confirm window to this move.
Okay, I think it's pretty much covered everything. It's just going through all the changes it's covered. And honestly, guys, if you watch my video, mine is way shorter. It's like, what, 10 minutes maybe? And I cover like all my mains, like a quick run through summary. Basically, everything he said is something I've touched upon. And like, these aren't even like that busted of changes or would make Raven crazy. Like, these are all reasonable. Master Raven was strong in Tekken 7, but she was strong in a good way. The character really required your dedication. You had to spend enough time on her, practice with the character, like commit to the character. It still applies to Raven, but he doesn't really have as much depth as Master Raven did back in Tekken 7, mostly because of like the soul zone cancel, the back turn back 4, and the back turn throws. Like, bro, like, I don't understand, but I do have hope for Tekken 8 Season 2. Raven has been getting like minimal buffs throughout Season 1 last year, and he's still considered one of the worst characters in the game. So I do have hope for this character that he'll get buffed in Season 2, and man, I really hope Namco see this, or at least have people scouting these videos and like, okay, these changes do make sense. It's time to make Raven good. Like, put Raven on the fucking map. It's about goddamn time. Another change I would want he didn't mention is bringing back 114. His 10 frame counter hit confirmable string. Right now it's 124 in Tekken 8. It's better for combos in Tekken 8, but it was easier to hit confirm, to counter hit confirm back in Tekken 7 with Master Raven. It was also very good for Oki at the wall. So I do hope they bring that back, but overall I do agree with most of the changes. Some of the changes from Tekken 6 are niche, but it does need a mid from full crouch, that I do agree. I don't know if down for 3+4 from Tekken 6 is the play though. Kind of at a very weird hitbox, but I do get where he's coming from. I do understand he needs a mid outside of hit, a safer mid. So anyway guys, what do you think of Immortal Souls changes? Again, make sure you do subscribe to this guy if you love Raven like me. This dude has some awesome tech. He's a very strong player. Like I said, most of the stuff I learned from him. So make sure you subscribe to this dude. So again, thank you so much guys for taking the time to watch my video. If you've made it this far, thank you. That means a lot. Leave a comment in the section so that I know. If you want to see more reaction videos like this, you let me know. Don't forget to doria that like button as usual. Subscribe if you're new. May the frame data be ever in your favor. GG.